Hey there, and welcome everybody. This is the very last Hang Outlander of season 2. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are That's Normal, and we have a special guest from Hypable with us tonight, and we are talking about the season finale of Outlander season 2. It's time. It's time to finally digest the entire season as a whole, talk about horribleness. And hi, we have a new special guest with us coming on too. We'll talk to you in just a sec. And we are drinking. I'm Beth. I'm having a really crappy, this is really honestly the worst wine I've ever had. Tennessee just got wines in our grocery stores, and you would think that's a good thing, except my husband enjoys buying things that are cheap. And so all of the cheap wine he's purchasing and bringing home, and it's all that we have open. And it's terrible. It might as well be apple juice. It's awful. But I'm hoping to get drunk because I have lots to say. So everyone needs to introduce themselves so we can get started on this lovely, lovely journey of negativity and positivity.
I will go first. We didn't decide what order we're going. Hi, I'm Becca. I am with That's Normal. I'm one of the co-owners, and I have a lovely glass of rosé tonight, and it's delicious. So I'm very sorry that you don't have a good glass of wine, Beth. And I also wanted to introduce a couple special guests. What is that? Oh, Joanna. Just kidding. Joanna, real quick, I'm just muting you. We'll have to unmute you. I have two special guests. I have Horse A and Horse B, and there's no reason that I have them here other than I wanted to have horses, and I've been drinking for the last few hours.
One of those is Donus, right?
Yeah, Donus and Donus's lover. They're just friends with benefits. Yeah, anyway.
Did you just put them on top of each other?
Yeah, that's what I did. I put them on top of each other. I did.
Oh, that's
I
great.
just did that. This is very attractive. Anyway, we are really excited to talk tonight. I don't know what Beth's talking about, negativity. I've got so much good shit to say tonight. So, moving on, Kyle.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
I'm Kyle. I'm from hypable.com. I am drinking delicious Corona Light it's Corona Extra. It's the first time I'm drinking beer on this show, and I feel very butch right now because I have a baseball cap that's too big and a shirt that's too big, and I'm drinking beer.
You're like a bro, man.
I know, it's great. It's awesome.
Awesome. Oh, and Laura, I meant to mention, Laura from Hypable was supposed to join us tonight, but she is stuck at rehearsal. So sadly, our very last Hang Outlander, she is not with us. But
Aww.
we have Kyle here from Hypable. Make sure you send her some tweet love because she didn't even text me back when I was like, I'm gonna miss you, blah blah. So she must be really stressed out or something. How about let's try Joanna. She is sideways, but Joanna is the one who responded when I sent out, I'm running Snapchat for That's Normal this week, and I said, Laura can't make it, who wants to join us? And Joanna responded. So we have her with us. Oh, look, now she's the right way up, but you'll have to unmute yourself. Did you just do that?
Crud. I don't know how
Good.
to do
Yes,
this.
you're good. You're perfect.
Am I good?
You are. Hi.
Hi.
I think I can't see you. Can anybody else see her?
No.
Okay, so click on your face maybe, but otherwise just talk and tell us who you are, and we're really excited to have you on our very last Hang Outlander.
That is, I know, it's so funny. That's what I get for getting on Snapchat 5 seconds before it starts. I've never done this before.
That's totally fine.
I'm a half-ass Outlander fan.
What does that mean?
It means I love the books and I deal with the show.
Okay, got it. Like a lot of us.
Yeah.
Cool.
I feel like I'm normal. I feel like that's normal. I'm normal. So.
And Joanna has been reading or interacting with us. I don't know how long you've been reading That's Normal, but for a long time. I haven't talked to you before, but we know your face very well from social media. And you apparently really have some great looking peppers on your dining room table because that's what we can
because the camera's
see.
not the right way. Here you go. There's it's a salt and
Hey,
pepper
we
shaker.
should get it out.
There
Am
she
I
is.
there?
You're there. Yes.
I can't see me, but
Oh, good.
okay.
Well, that's okay.
Hi.
Well, good. We're so glad that you're with us tonight. We're excited to hear your
Thank you.
thoughts on the episode. Julie.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julie. I also write for That's Normal, and I'm drinking a lovely, lovely red. I have no idea what it is. It's great, though, and I'm going to drink it. It's going to go all the way down. It's not gnarly head. It's not gnarly head. So darn it. But it's going to be gone by the end of this discussion. So that's my challenge to myself. Nobody else challenged me, so we'll make that a reality.
Congratulations.
I want you to finish 2 before.
Yeah, I officially challenge you, Julie.
Damn it.
All right, challenge. That means I have to leave the camera at some point and just chug it and then cry in the background. Usually what I do on any day that ends in a Y. So, okay, no, I'm joking.
And Nikki.
That leaves me. Hi, guys. I'm Nikki. I brought a drink because it's the finale, and we've earned this, everyone. We've earned a drink. Congratulations to all of us. I'm Nikki, co-owner of That's Normal, and my lower third doesn't work, but it's totally the same as Becca. I'm going to be on the nice train tonight, I think, for the first time ever. So excited to have Joanna. That's exciting.
Thanks.
Anyway, if you guys have a question or you want to talk to us, use hashtag #HangOutlander or @that's_normal, and we will get to as many questions as possible. But let's go. Let's talk.
Let's do it.
All right, guys. We're gonna hop into probably the most controversial aspect of this finale, and that is, at least in my mind, based on what I've seen so far, is Brianna. We just need to get it out of the way. Okay.
Can I real quick before we go too far, because I want to remind people, because I forgot that Kyle doesn't know what happens past this, and actually Nikki doesn't either, which is kind of exciting because we basically spoiled season 2 because she'd read most of it and then we told her everything. So I think just keeping in mind this conversation is really, because I know I'm like, I forget what happens next. I forget exactly the steps. We can't talk about it. We just can't. We have to let the people at home, including Nikki and Kyle, not know about it. But yeah, let's talk about it.
It's gonna be a true Hangoutlander season finale? Wow. Okay.
Right, exactly. This is our season finale of Hangoutlander.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, let's bitch about
Let's do it, because I think it's important to that we see the book and the show when we talk about it. We've tried to do that as much as possible because we know that they're different, and like we do have people that do both, but we need to discuss Brianna because despite what Brianna is supposed to be like in the book, I don't love Brianna when I first read the book either. The big complaint so far has been not the strongest actress, not doing a great job making us believe anything, actually. So what did you guys think?
Yeah, this was such a strong episode, except for her. And I was thinking, I said to Nikki, because I just finished the episode too, and she did as well, and I thought, is it her lines? Because it seems like she's given like the dumbest lines, like, my father was also strong-willed, or like whatever she says. I don't even know, because it doesn't matter. And they were just so like a dumb person. They were dumb people lines. And I don't know if it's because that's how she delivered them, or if it's that she just, it doesn't make sense. They can't be written differently, right?
There was that one point where she was like, no, I don't want to hear anything about my father, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy was like, no, like come on, like, you want to learn this. And she's like, okay. And then she just, like, sits down, and I'm like, I don't know what you believe. Like, what do you, like, does she want to know or does she not want to know? Someone who's that adamant about not knowing something isn't going to be like, oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like she must have read some sort of character description of Brianna that was like snotty teenager, because like that's how she played it, even though apparently she's supposed to be 20. For some reason I thought she was a little younger. She's like, I'm a brat and I'm a dick the whole entire episode. It was a little bit like, hey, we need to have some sort of dimension here beyond you're pissed at mom.
Reminded me of the girl from Teen Wolf the entire time. Like the redhead from Teen Wolf. I don't know if you guys watch that show.
I don't watch
Lydia. She reminds me of Lydia, like the actress, like T for T. And so like half of me was like,
case people were saying that she's like K-Stu.
Yeah, and she
Yes,
looks like
that's the same thing I thought.
and she looks like Bee from Gossip Girl, like a lot. So maybe there's like just like this thing about her that she looks like these other actresses that were. I also just don't think she's a good actress. I mean, honestly, I don't think she's a good actress.
Yeah. I think that like I don't think she's a really good actress. Tiff pointed this out. We have a group. I always feel like we explain this every single week.
Every time.
We have a group text going. And Tiff had a good point. She goes, she's focusing so hard on her American accent that she's forgetting that, we also in an American accent, whatever that is, because there's so many, and that's another thing people were pointing out too, that she didn't have a little Boston. It doesn't need to be like going like, I gotta go pack my car and have a yard of them, or anything like that, but just something. But she actually there was no inflection. And at one point, I remember when that fight between Claire and Brianna happened, Katrina Balf's emotions were here, and this girl was like, but you, and then she messed up on fuck. She literally said, you found my dad, or like that man. And I've been like, I would have been screaming at her. So, I don't know.
Also, do you feel like, I don't think the accent things are founded. Like, if you had two English parents at home raising a child, would you have a child with a Boston accent? That doesn't really make sense to me.
No, I don't think she would have had a Boston accent. I think she just, she had two English parents. She's raised at Harvard. She's not going to have, the guy from Friendly's accent. That's not what it's going to be like. She's going to sound like John Krasinski, who's from Boston.
Yeah, it's going to be that more like educated, like a Boston accent. But she doesn't have that either.
She doesn't have that either. She was really, really trying really hard to say words that she couldn't say. I think at one point she said the mile, and it didn't sound like any word that I'd ever heard before. And there were a bunch of other words like that. And I hate to harp so much on her. There are plenty of people that are like, give her a chance, blah, blah, blah. And I would be like, no, your chance is your audition. Then, like, you're here, you're doing all of these scenes, like, do them well, or, you shouldn't have gotten the part. But I felt bad that she was so bad. I do feel a little bad for her, because people were talking about how great Richard was, and she wasn't. And I said in my recap that she had Disney Channel levels of gravitas, and that's kind of how I felt. I felt like she was the Disney Channel version of Brie. And the thing is she's Jamie and Claire's daughter, so we should care about her a whole lot, and she should be somebody that is the culmination of their love, and instead she's just like this bratty caricature, and it was unfortunate.
And I remember that time when the first time Claire says, like, she reminds me, you're so much like him, when she's laying in bed. And I was like, they should have done something so that it seemed like she was like him, because they did nothing. And maybe they were supposed to. Maybe it was written into the script. But she did nothing. She had no mannerism. Like, there was nothing like him. No. Her hair color wasn't the same. She wasn't that tall.
Even when they were fighting, she said, you have his mannerisms. And I'm like, what mannerisms? That she's breathing and she has a pulse? Right. And she decided to, walk away or something like that? There was nothing to show that she was like her father, or she had these mannerisms. I did see somebody did comment that they felt that her stoic nature, kind of like how she was acting, could be because Frank was kind of like that. He kind of had this, this nature of you bottle it in, you talk, and then I'm like, well, but then she would have a temper when she got really pissed off. So
that feels like something nice somebody was trying to say about her. I just don't think she's a great actress.
There was something. There it is. Something positive.
Something positive. Look at you. Yeah. Joanna, do you have any thoughts? And you're muted, by the way. Just make sure you unmute yourself if you can do that, because I would love to hear your thoughts, Joanna. Can you unmute yourself? Sorry.
I don't know why I keep doing that.
There you go. No, I'm muting you. Just you can't see the chat. I'm muting you because there's a lot of background noise, so you'll just have to unmute yourself before you talk. There you go. You're caught up. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I apologize. My husband came home, and also my kids are coming out of bed. She tricked me at first. Like, I was really like, wow, she's super bratty and terrible. That's awesome. And then I just kind of got to like, she's terrible. She's just terrible. It's not like all of that. It's just bad acting. And then I read reviews and I found out that she is indeed a very bad actress. So
what do you mean?
Maybe it will get better.
What do you mean? The reviews just
like
just
the New York Times went.
Oh.
Yeah,
there were several out by like people who, because I don't consider myself like a very valid critic,
right?
much.
You're a fan, right?
But yeah, when I was like reading stuff that where people like that's their job, and they were like, yeah, it wasn't so good, then I kind of
I can't imagine too, like what that must, because honestly, there really haven't been many people that we've felt that way about in the series. We've had a lot of criticism, but I can't say that it's been like, because you're a really bad actor criticism.
Right.
In fact, most of the like side or second characters or whatever have been really, really good.
Yeah.
Right. I think that the biggest problems that we've had acting-wise have actually been occasionally Sam and Katrina.
Yeah.
You know, and that's different because the whole thing is kind of resting on their shoulders, and maybe that's part of it. But all of the secondary characters have been really great. They've got Master Raymond and Gayless and Dougal, and they're all like these really, really fine actors. And even Richard came in and was fantastic in a way that I wasn't anticipating him going to be. And it was really a bummer that this girl just wasn't. So.
Who's Richard?
Rick
Roger.
Oh.
Richard?
Isn't his name Rick? Oh,
Richard.
Got it. Richard. Okay, whatever.
I think Richard, I have to apologize to him because I went into it thinking he was going to be terrible, and maybe that's just the fandom, and I didn't want to, give him the time of day. But he was a revelation. He did amazing. I loved every scene he was in, minus the Colin Firth turtleneck collection he was wearing.
Is it wrong?
Every fucking scene, putting him in something different.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is it wrong to be attracted to someone who we saw as an 8-year-old and now she is an adult?
They grow up.
Okay.
They're all 8-year-olds at some point.
No.
Okay.
It's wrong when you say wrong. It's wrong when you say that 8-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only time it's wrong.
We're all 8-year-olds at some point.
So as long as I'm like, well, that like 25 to 30-year-old is like, okay.
Yeah.
I think Nikki and I talked a little bit about their kind of their relationship and their interactions a little bit with Bree and Roger because because he's older, right? He's a bit older.
Yeah.
And like obviously like she walks
older.
in, right? So she's acting like a little spoiled brat. I'm not seeing this smart, intelligent woman that I think we know she is from the books at all in the way that she's acting and the way that they're communicating. And so he's like totally into her. Which obviously, I mean, whatever. You could just be into her because she's hot. That's fine. But kind of made me be like, dude, like, is she like? Are there really no women around that like you're like impressed by this bratty kid?
Yeah, he goes to he like works and goes to Oxford. I'm sure he meets lots of intelligent, attractive women.
And she was not. I think she is that, but she was not showing him that by any means.
No, it was unfortunate.
Yeah,
and it got really awkward when her mother's like, I need to talk to you, and she's like, Roger, stay. Like, well, that's every guy's dream. That's what every guy wants to do, is stay there and listen to your family drama.
My least favorite line from her was when she went, "Oh my God, stop!" And I was like, "Why? Why did you pause? Why? Stop it!" It was so bad.
It was really bad. Like that. Honestly, this episode was pretty flawless for me. I didn't have a problem with the last 15 minutes like a lot of our friends did, and we'll get into that. Every time Bree just opened her mouth,
To be fair, I watched the episode, and because I was working at the same time, so I was like splitting my attention. But I watched the majority of it when I was like on break or on lunch or whatever, and I didn't have a problem with her. But maybe it is like seeing you guys talk about it and like just reflecting and thinking back about all of her like choices that she made. That's when I'm realizing like you guys are right, but like I'm the type of viewer to like watch and not analyze necessarily actors' performances unless they're like horrible, like absolutely like gut-wrenchingly terrible. And I don't feel like she was that for me. Otherwise, I would have like broken it up for me, and like I would have been like, wait, what the heck? But maybe that was because I was working. But I did enjoy it on a super superficial level, I guess.
Well, and I like that what you just said there, that you usually watch shows or whatever just like getting lost in it. You're not thinking about it. You just want to be entertained, right? And I feel like that's how I consume most of my entertainment. We probably all do. And that's why I've had a problem with, especially this season, because I have not been entertained. Confession, I did not watch the last 2 episodes of Outlander. I was away, and then I was away again, and then I just didn't want to. And I wanted to watch the finale because it was 90 minutes of my life, and I needed to prepare for today. And I didn't miss anything. Obviously, I've read the book, so I know what happens, but honestly, I don't know what happened in the last 2 episodes, and I don't care. And that's not good about a show. So there are the things that I've had a problem with, is that I've sat there every week and I've thought, I am so bored. I want to be entertained. I want to love this like the ease of turning a page. And to be fair, the books aren't always that easy for me. They weren't always that easy for me. But this episode was that. Besides Bree, which I definitely like had pause for at times because she was just distracting, and maybe it was more so because I thought the episode was so flawless. It was beautiful. The music was incredible. It felt like a movie. It was moving so seamlessly, like throughout different things. And then you'd have Bree say something, and it would just break up that like trance that I was in, enjoying this TV show for the first time in a long time. Okay, I'm done.
No, I agree with you. I liked that back and forth, that going, you know,
Yeah.
you were in the 1960s and then it went back to the 1700s, and I thought they did a really good job of when to break that, when to, you know, because a lot of the scenes in the 1700s were so filled with tension, and they broke it right at that moment that made you go, oh, okay, I got to keep watching. I have to keep watching. So I thought they did a really good job that way. And I agree with you. It was the moment that she opened her mouth and she started to talk, you're like, hurry it up. Just hurry it up so we can move on. But other than that, I liked the going back and forth.
I didn't mind it, but there were
I
a lot.
liked that it went back and forth. It told.
Go ahead.
I think we just talked at the same time, Beth.
We
You
did.
go ahead. Oh, I was just saying I love the back and forth bouncing of the story, talking or bringing it back and forth. I think the one thing Patricia just treated that France took way too long, and I think that's true because we dilly-dallied for episodes and episodes and nothing happened. And then when we finally got back to Scotland, especially this episode, it was like, oh, we're finally back, and this is the show we all like. This is Outlander. They're telling a really great story, and there's Jamie and Claire, and there's love, and there's intimacy. Anyway.
Yeah, for me the back worked, except that there were so many moments in the finale that I felt like needed to be expanded. So like Dougal's death felt really truncated, and it split in a really odd spot. Like he said, "You filthy, you know, whoring wench," or something like that, and then all of a sudden it's Roger like do. Well, I mean, it was really odd. And so I wish that had been given a little bit more time to breathe. And I really felt like their travel to the Stones didn't have enough time to breathe. That they seemed to be, he seemed to just be dragging her the horse the whole time they're trying to talk. And really, that's like I mean, that's their separation, is the discussion about the baby and trying to decide that that's definitely what they're going to do. And for me, it felt truncated. And I think it was because of the back and forth. I didn't mind it. I just wish that we'd had more time with it.
I think I loved it because it like kept me like totally enthralled. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. And but during the part where she was about to leave 1746 or whatever and go back, and then they had sex, and then it's back in normal time, and I'm like, hold on, wait 1 second. You're telling me that when she was on the road begging to find out what happened, his semen was inside of her the entire time?
It was dripping down her leg, actually.
Yeah,
that's what doing.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Okay, got it. I don't know why that was the only thing I was thinking of, but I'm like, she met her husband hours probably after having sex with Jamie. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, and I knew that it was going to happen. I was thinking about that.
Guys, that's why she was wearing wool, that's why she was wearing wool socks. They absorbed it.
She did not have any wet ones on her.
That's why Frank did that little sniff test.
He was smelling Jamie's funk.
That's right. Very first episode, I said, he's getting a big old whiff of JMMMF, and that's exactly what's happening.
There are some good tweets that are totally opposite. There's hold on, if I can find them now. Jamie's Rule said she didn't mind the back and forth. She agreed with Julie. They time most of the breaks well. But Anna Chuchalu said, "Can we talk about the incessant back and forth? I feel like it was cut up into tiny pieces." So they're right after each other, totally two different opinions. And then Danelle. I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Is that how you say your name? You write for us. I don't know why I just did it. Danelle. Oh my gosh. The back and forth was done really well this time. So I feel like there's just totally different opinions. And I like what Andy said here about the problem was the good parts were so good, and when the show in general hasn't been all that good, she wanted to go coastal.
Well, I think this is a good sign. It's better than everyone either just being apathetic or hating it. They finally made a good episode, which was shocking considering the season.
Tweedledee asked, big story arc question. The first episode's 40s open, did it throw off the entire season? Did it give away too much? I think it may have as well.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. And it's probably the biggest problem that I have with the show at this point is the fact that season 2 just didn't have any tension. And we've talked about it over and over again, and it's because it gave so much away in that first scene. And Outlander we talked about how Kyle was on us with the first time, and he said how he was confused and was she pregnant and what was going on, and yet it made him want to watch. He has to watch to know what's going to happen. But then you realize as you go along and as the show begins to develop what's happening, you kind of get it, and you understand what's happening and what had happened in the 40s, and all of that tension is gone. When I realized that they were focusing so much on Culloden and less on Jamie and Claire's intimacy and less on some of the other things that were going on, I realized I don't care. I don't care about all of the stuff that they're talking about almost every episode because we know the outcome. And why is she caring so much about Frank? We know she goes back to Frank and he's fine. It's just such a strange way to set up the tension of an entire season by giving it away.
And yet you just said right there, we're spending so much time focused on Culloden, yet we don't see it. And so are we going to see it for 5 episodes next season? And why? Because we know that Jamie lives, right? That's what we find out at the end of this. I mean, I guess obviously that could be it's not a spoiler. She believes at this point that he lives. Yeah. I'm very confused. And also, what's the whole thing with people wanting Murtaugh to live? There's they want him to. That's a thing. I see hashtags.
People are weird.
Murtaugh. So I just assumed Murtaugh dies, or we think he's gonna die. That's why I thought honestly it was gonna end with Murtaugh and Jamie laying there on the field. That's all I thought was gonna happen.
Hugging each other.
Right, hugging.
I think they want him to live because they became so connected.
Yeah, he is great. Yeah.
He's a good actor. He's a good character and a good actor too.
I would have done anything to have gotten an action sequence in the last 2.
Oh. Yeah, I really was shocked that we didn't. Joanna, were you going to say something? Nope. Nope. And Kyle ran off to get some.
Sorry,
No, it's okay. Joanna, were you going to say something?
I think everybody's just talking.
Nope.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I think Outlander fans just run out of stuff to hashtag, and so they just come up with them, and then they're for the next 5 hours, we're all going to trend this hashtag, and everybody's on Twitter all the time, so it just trends, and then they're yay, they saved Murtaugh. So.
Well, yeah, especially because Rick Richard, as apparently I'm supposed to call him, got hired because of fan rallying around him.
Okay, I have to say the right thing right now because I've said a couple of times in different posts that the fandom love for Rick got him. I'm not saying that that's what got him hired. He was great. He's a good actor, and that's what got him hired.
Totally.
But it is very odd and very unique that he was the #1 fan cast and got hired. That's odd.
That's not
doesn't
normal.
happen.
Well, I think as we saw from this episode, he's such a good actor. Obviously, it was the right choice. And then you add on fans really love him. Win for everyone. So why wouldn't they cast him? You know, I'm sure that didn't hurt, but obviously he got the role because he's a great actor.
Too bad
because he's a darling.
Too bad we didn't do the same thing for Brianna. We dropped the ball. We as fans. I take blame for that. We can do better.
Think about all the Dunbonnet auditions we watched.
Right. Possible Brianna.
Possible Brianna.
Can we do hashtag recast, Brie? Is that
hashtag
recast?
Recast.
Recast.
Yes.
Recast. Do this.
That is so mean.
But also honest.
Very true.
Kyle wanted to know if we were talking about sex while he was gone, going in to get another beer.
Listen, I was just asking the appropriate question.
It is an important question. We should talk about it because
we finally got it.
There is a sex scene in this episode, and it was about 7 seconds.
It was pretty.
It was such a quickie.
You don't have sex to cannon fodder and ensuing army.
It was honestly like walking in on two kids doing it in an orchard, and you're like, ah, crap.
It was like, ooh, get your clothes up real quick and
hurry, take the shit out of your hair. Here,
and yet, I thought it was really believable and really beautiful, like, because they didn't have time, and yet, like, that was how they showed their love. That's like the only thing they could have done is just connect in that way, you know. Still his seed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it worked out well. I mean, it made sense. Like they're like, I'm gonna miss you so much, and then sex.
I agree. It was a quickie, but it was necessary, I think, in that moment.
And I love what he said, and you'll have to tell me if this is directly from the book at all, but when he said how much he'll hate Frank, or whatever that line was, that was so sexy, like, oh, I was like, Jamie. Like, that was Jamie.
That was direct from Diana, that's why.
Okay, that's why. That conversation, though, the way Sam played it all worked out, and I was very into that. So maybe that's why I then was okay with the 7-second quickie.
Yeah.
It's
whole line.
The whole thing, that's straight from the book, which
That's
is
what I
why
figured.
it worked.
Right, I figured it was.
When he said that whole thing about, like, give me, you know, Lord, you gave me a rare woman, and I loved her well. That was pure Jamie.
What are we hearing?
That was me.
What happened? I'm sorry, I thought it was Joanna. I muted you. I'm the worst. I'm a terrible person.
All of a sudden, my phone, like, rang. You're welcome, everybody.
It sounded like somebody put a toddler in a dryer.
I think that actually was Joanna. A toddler in a dryer.
I think it was my husband getting ice, actually.
Oh, dude. Put that
Not
ice
that
back.
I would know what it sounds like when you put your toddler in a dryer. But probably sounds like that.
Well, my kids won't go. My kids won't go to sleep, so you know.
Terrible timing.
Everybody does it differently.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody. Go ahead, Nikki. I was just going to read a tweet because someone totally disagrees with me, but go ahead.
That's fine, because I don't agree with whoever that is then. But I was just going to say those last two really big scenes with Jamie, I cried both times.
Me too.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I don't think I've cried in this.
I haven't at all.
Yeah, not even when the baby died. Like, didn't cry.
No. I feel like there was just something in what he was saying, which clearly most of it was Diana's words, and then B, how Sam was acting. And my phone's going off.
I know. Group text.
Sam and Katrina, they were doing so amazing. When he is walking her backwards to the stone, it was like waterworks. It was tears emoji. It was like he was like pushing her into it. It was
he like pushed her hand against it. I was like, no.
I know.
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
So good.
That
was really good.
That was good.
Okay, so question though. Okay, can men not travel through stone?
He can't. Only certain
I
people
think it's
can.
just Sam.
Okay.
Or Sam.
Yeah.
Just Sam Hewen, just the man.
Sam Hewen screwed.
Sam Hewen can't travel through stone.
Kyle, there was like kind of a little hint if you'd watch it again when you hear that happens when they're in present time in the 60s and you hear them all say, "What's that buzzing noise? What's that buzzing noise?"
Roger can hear.
Only if they hear the buzzing then.
But Roger hears it too. So.
Oh.
Yeah, they all. Because Roger.
They're all gonna flickman fucking time travel back into
clearly
the
they're all
past.
going.
But
did you say Flickman?
I think he did a Flickman travel agency.
I was trying to refrain from cursing, and then I cursed anyway, and then it just mixed. Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. We put explicit on our iTunes podcast.
Okay.
There's some really good tweets here. Courtney says, "Nope," to me directly. "Nope, nope, nope. The quickie was not believable and devoid of the emotion of that moment in the book." She's very mad at me. Sorry, Courtney. But Danelle said she agreed with more menace in the books, but not more depth. And then I like this one from Texas Tanya. She said she did love that bro moment with Murtaugh when he tells Jamie that he's coming back to fight at Culloden with them.
That was great. I think here's the problem that I have, because that goodbye scene, and I'm sorry Kyle, I'm sorry Nikki, the goodbye scene in the actual book, and we'll talk about that in a second because Diana posted it again, is such a great goodbye scene. It is emotional. It is the goodbye that you want to have somebody give you if this was to happen to you or something like that, or something situation like that.
The difference is, sorry.
No, go for it.
The difference is they put these little totally useless timestamps on the Culloden sections of the show. And I mean, I really could not think of anything more useless than the 8:16 a.m., 8:47 a.m. that they put on there.
Because we never got Culloden, but go for it, yeah.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. But what they're trying to do with the Culloden scenes is to show that everything is rushed and rushed and rushed and rushed. In the book, they have more time. Yeah. They're like hanging out in a cottage for a while, and they have time to discuss what's going on. They have time to make love. There's a lot going on, and so it's not a rushed event. Their goodbye has got a lot of time to it. Right. Even when she goes through the stones, and Jamie is about to fight someone, who he's fighting is not necessarily like soldiers from Culloden coming. That just happens to be staying nearby. So I mean, it's kind of like. That's what it is it needed to have the quickness of he's got to get back to the battlefield.
Right.
But it's just, that's why it doesn't feel good. If you take the fact that they needed it to be quick, it works fine.
Right.
It works fine.
And that's where I think kind of as readers we're at that disadvantage, because we know what it was in the book, and it was so romantic, and it was beautiful, and it was technically the sex scene that they had was the one that they had in the book before. She even says in the book, it wasn't lovemaking what we did.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what kind of, when people are like, no, what? That was it? And I even said that. It was that feeling of, where did it go?
The problem is we haven't had, and I'm torn about this, but the problem is there hasn't been any sex in this whole season, not really. And so that's really what the problem is. The problem is that that's how they connect in the books. That's how they connected in the first season or the second half of the first season, and it became a thing, and how they marketed and talked about the show. Yet in the second season, it's not a thing at all. It's nothing we see ever, and so it becomes something we're always kind of anticipating. Are they going to connect in this episode? Are we really going to see them have sex? Are we going to see Sam's ass? And when we don't, that's the problem. The problem is that you don't see their connection as deeply as you think that you need to, because they're not also connecting physically.
Everyone on Twitter is talking about there not being some sort of emotional mark. I have no idea what they're talking about, but isn't that what Diana also bitched about online? Can we talk about that?
Wait, okay, so what did she, okay, you guys said that she called out the show, and I still don't know what that means.
Okay, do you want me to tell the story?
Yep.
Yeah, give us the story.
So, in the book, Jamie and Claire, before she leaves, she asks him specifically to mark her. She wants something to remember him by forever. She says, I want you to cut me deep enough to leave a scar. so I want something that I can always know that you were real, right? So he sucks on her thumb right here really hard, and then he cuts her with a knife, cuts a J into her Mount of Venus. And it bleeds, and then he sucks the blood out, and then it leaves this mark. That
she becomes a vampire and has a baby named Renesmee.
Yes. And she does the same for him. She carves a C into his hand. And then they hold hands, and that's when they say, the blood of my blood, bone of my bone, as long as till the bush shall live. It's a very primitive kind of callback to their blood vow from their wedding, and it's just a way that for forever, when she's in the future, she can look down at her hand, and there's this tacit physical reminder that he was real and that he loved her. They decided not to do that, and Diana put online that she talked to Tony and some of the other people, Meryl or Ron or whoever, and they said they weren't going to do it because apparently the blood splatter would be too big of a deal. They want to ruin the costume, which doesn't make any sense. And instead, they were going to have Claire give Jamie her dragonfly and amber, and Diana thought it was like...
Which ended up in a museum.
Right.
Okay.
Diana thought that was horridly stupid, and so she puts this online, and Meryl comes back and says, I never said it was because about the blood. That's crazy. Eye roll emoji. So it was like, wow, on Twitter for just a second. We were hoping to see a little bit of the claws come out, but they talked about it very politely. I was disappointed.
But talk about a difference from last season to this season. So last season, Diana was very much defending the show, defending Sam's casting, defending this, defending that. And this season, she's been a little more outspoken. You know, she had that whole jump, the shark, whatever that was. I think it was the Leary episode, and including Leary. And then she did this, and it was like, woo. So I'm like, what's season 3 going to bring?
Yeah.
You know, Diana does her own show with Pocket Jamie.
I mean, for being a great show, this season has not been great, but that's the mark me thing that everybody's talking about. They really wish that they'd done that, and to be honest, they should have done it. Yeah. There's no reason for them not to have. It would have been more powerful. It would have been
that's a major emotional anchor for Claire that they just left out.
Because now she doesn't have that, right?
Yeah, and especially because her husband burned all her clothes that she traveled there with. She has no remnant other than possibly the wedding ring. I assume she kept that, but still that's not nearly enough.
Yeah. Well, I found it too kind of weird that she, and I mean it was emotional, and I did like this scene, but I thought it was weird that she goes to the marker that says Clan Fraser, right, Beth? Yes, she goes to Clan Fraser.
She does.
Beth, have you been there?
Yeah, Beth, you've been there, right?
You've been there? Have you been there? Okay.
Are you bound by Clan Fraser?
Yeah, are you bound? Yeah.
Other people have been there too. So.
Maybe someday we'll talk about that online.
Yeah,
I don't think we ever will. That's not gonna happen.
Perhaps we'll be in a newsletter. Anyway, so I thought it was funny that she's telling this marker, and I know before you tweet me and say she's really talking to Jamie. I got it. Thank you. I have a college degree. Whoa! I'm like Meryl right now, and then they come back in. I thought it was funny that she's telling Jamie all of these things, and she did this and she did that. I'm like, well, I think it's because you'd be secretly, even though Frank said don't mention anything to our daughter or to this child, I would think that she's secretly in her mind talks to Jamie all the time. So I liked that scene. At the same time, I'm like, I bet the Claire I know would be like, you told me I can't talk to my daughter, but you didn't say I can't think about it.
Yeah, my most emotional part was when she went to visit the Lollybrock, and she went to the house, and that, and like the voiceovers of the previous episode, and her being locked out and not able to go into the home that she was a part of, that just killed me. And it makes me so mad because I really wanted to follow through with that whole lineage that she was doing, who kept the house and what happened to it. Because I want to know who the heck messed up and who the hell just let the house fall apart like that. Jesus.
Yeah, and Sam, that was the best scene.
And when Sam comes walking in, and you're just like,
yes,
this.
That part, I yelled. I was like, Jamie!
I'm like, there's Jamie. There he is.
There he is. He looks so hot. I was like, that's him. There he is.
Claire is a hot 60s lady. Damn. Like,
I loved the costuming.
Jackie O all the way. Seriously, if they do another Kennedy film, Katrina Balfe, I feel like, can play Jackie O.
She could do it.
I felt uncomfortable with it. I don't know why.
Really?
I think I'm just like, because I know what's coming, I think, and just like thinking of, I don't know. She obviously looked beautiful, like, but it was just so weird to go from like young Claire to like motherly Claire. Like it was weird for me. Even though
you mean the one gray streak she had?
Yeah, that also, just the Cruella de Vil thing wasn't.
That was
London.
Weird.
And
a little much.
And because what we're seeing is not, Claire's not acting like a mother. And I say that as a mother who literally just yelled at her daughter right before this started.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like, Brianna should have been slapped about 8 times.
Oh, totally.
No reason for her to have allowed her to talk to her like that. And I was like, that's why it's odd, because she's not acting motherly. I don't care that your daughter's 20. You don't let her talk to you like that. And so
you don't let her yell at you about fucking another man.
Right.
Like, Jesus.
Right. The dude who just lost his father. That was awkward.
But Kyle, she couldn't understand what she was saying because she couldn't even pronounce the word fuck. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Also, apparently, what's his face died at some point between the 60s.
Yeah, they never even talk about
like,
that.
They don't even like say that. They're like, oh yeah, I know he's dead. I'm like, wait, what? When did he die? Wow.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of the problems. Sorry.
Can you at least tell us, non-book readers at this point, that we see Tobias Menzies, a.k.a. Frank, at some other point down the line?
Yes, he will.
I was shocked we didn't see Blackjack. Why didn't we see?
We didn't even find out Blackjack died.
Because they're not even going to tell us anything, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
because it was a terrible season of television.
Yeah, it shouldn't. It shouldn't have that. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he's supposed to die the day of, and that was like a huge part of last season.
Yeah. Everyone was like, oh, it's fine. Like, he'll get his, like you'll get your promise made. Like, you can kill him on the Battle of Culloden. And we don't even see the promise being upheld.
So we know that. We know when he dies. We remember, but non-book readers, you know. Okay.
Well, and according to history, he dies at the Battle of Culloden.
Right, but we don't even get to see it.
We don't even get to, like, what bullshit.
But keep in mind, when she went through the stones, it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know?
Or maybe 8:47.
yeah.
We're not exactly sure.
At 8
at
4:20. Don't joke.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid next season's going to be the first 4 episodes are going to be Culloden now.
Yeah, it's that's the frustrating conceit of the season, is that everything was about Culloden, and yet we never saw it. We don't find out what happens to Blackjack. We don't find out what happens to Jamie. We don't even really find out what happens in the battle, except the first 2 minutes where they tell us what happens in the fucking battle.
Exactly.
If they learn nothing from this season and nothing from Outlander, or anything from this season or anything from Outlander, please don't give away the entire damn show in the first couple minutes of episode 1 of season 3.
Yeah.
Leave something.
To be honest,
Go ahead.
well, like, to be honest, like, I am not good with dates at all. And so when I watched not this episode, but the last episode where it ended as a cliffhanger, like the Battle of Culloden is tomorrow, I was like, is that the season finale? Oh my god, I can't believe it. And then, like, that would have been, like, I was, like, totally fine with that being, like, a major cliffhanger. And then, like, and then this happened. I'm like, no, what? Okay. Like, I just don't want to revisit the Battle of Culloden because I had this distinct feeling that it was going to be over in like a minute or like in an episode, and then now it's like just.
I mean, can you imagine if there was a season of Game of Thrones and the entire time they were talking about the Red Wedding, and the whole season they were talking about the Red Wedding is coming, the Red Wedding is coming, and you don't see the Red Wedding until the next season? I mean, can you imagine how frustrating something like that would be? I don't understand why they didn't recognize that, no, the Battle of Culloden does not take place in Dragonfly and Amber the book, but it needs to take place in this season of television, or you are going to frustrate all of your viewers. And that's what they did. They really, really just put this umbrella over the entire season. They never closed, and it's just really frustrating.
Well, and especially because for me, as like a non-book reader, when like they went to France and then they're like, oh, well, okay, this didn't work out. Let's go back to Scotland. I'm like, okay, well, did you just go to France for like literally nothing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that's what it felt like.
They went to France for costumes.
Yeah.
Costumes.
Yeah.
Terry wanted to go there.
Terry was free vacation.
Terry wanted to go.
Terry was really good that night. Convinced Ron. Yeah, I think that from like a marketing standpoint, it makes sense because I'm not agreeing that it's the best decision for the creative, but what if they like killed everyone, right? Then what are they going to do? Like, watch season 3, we got all these new people you don't give a shit about. Like, I think now they're going to promote season 3 just like they've done with the other ones. Murtaugh's there, Blackjack's there, because we don't know when they're going to die or this or that, or if they are. Apparently we can save Murtaugh by just using this special hashtag.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. Please tell me people aren't trying to save him with the hashtag.
You missed
People are trying to save lives. Hashtag save lives, Kyle. Damn it.
No.
People think he can
at
save
this point,
him.
then hashtag save Gaelus's husband who died for nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
All right, we're going to start that. Hashtag burn body.
Can we hashtag sex with Jamie, not with Frank? Like, is that a hashtag we could work on?
Like, are we gonna have to see Frank sex now for like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet we're gonna get more Frank sex than we've gotten Jamie sex in.
We think we're gonna be having sex on the show.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying we won't have Jamie sex. We may not have Jamie and Claire sex.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That is right.
Wait, what?
As Becca pets the horse.
Let's just really quickly understand something. If you are just a show watcher and you have no idea what's going on, Jamie and Claire were, and this is recognizable in the beginning of the finale, the very first part of the finale. They were separated for 20 years. Yeah. That's not like a fake thing. It's not like she goes back and gets to go back in time and be the age that she was and go right.
That's not real. That's not how it works.
They were separated for 20 years. The timeline is the timeline. Like, her lifespan is her actual timeline.
Okay, but that just confuses me because if she decides to go back, oh my god, my forehead is large. Oh my god. Sorry. Anyway,
your hat looks a little
my hat is too large. Anyway, if she decides to go back, because some of the readers and stuff were tweeting about how like old Jamie and stuff, and I'm like, so like does the stone analyze how old she is and be like, okay, 20 years later, let me drop you off to like Jamie at 20 years later.
Yeah.
Like,
that was my exact loophole that I was wondering about. I was like, how do they know? Because we just watched Gaelus go back to the time Jamie came from.
And
how do they
Gaelus
choose?
apparently was there for longer too. Yeah.
I think it's something back to what holiday, like whatever, like mystical holiday they're going back in and when. Because there's certain times that the port is open. And this is like old Druid mythology, right? Like this isn't stuff she made up. This is actual stuff. This is real, you guys. We can go there now.
This is well actually stuff. Yeah. This is well actually stuff.
Yeah, well actually.
Essentially around 200 years, right? But there's a lot of other things that affect all of that stuff that Jillian / Gaelus had in her notebooks. Stuff that she was researching about how you can go back at a certain times of the year. The blood sacrifice makes it. And Claire was saying there wasn't a sacrifice when I went through, but apparently, like, I don't even remember if this is real, but maybe like a sacrifice helps you concentrate a specific time so that you can go back. It makes it stronger, right? So Claire travels accidentally and ends up somewhere around 200 years in the past. Gaelus does all this stuff with gemstones and the certain time of year and the sacrifice in order to direct her path to a specific time and place. So she's able to go back farther than 200 years. In fact, she goes back to about 250 years, I think, is what.
Yeah.
230 or something like that. So by thinking about certain things or directing your path with certain ways, you can go back to a certain time and place.
Well, they need to be more heavy-handed with that exposition and less heavy-handed with Claire talking to a stone. So, I
think that season 3 they'll have to start explaining a little bit about the time travel because for her to go back to Jamie, she's going to have to be specific. And they'll have to explain more about what's going on, especially as they get into season 4. More time travelers are going through and stuff like that. So it'll be hopefully a little bit more explained. If you know, there's one little tidbit other than the buzzing of the stones that you can see in this season, which is the ring that he gives her has a stone. It has a gem in it, and it's gone in the first episode when she picks up the ring out of the grass. So it like burned up on her travel through. So that's just, you know, part of the lore of how you travel through the stones. It's kind of stuff that I don't pay attention to when I'm reading, so I don't really know exactly what's going on. But
can we talk about really quickly? I feel like this was a scene that some people liked, some people didn't, some people felt it was flat, some people felt it was well done. It was Dougal's death.
Yeah,
it was bad. Wasn't good enough.
I don't know. I thought that was going to be more powerful. Did she help, Beth? Do you remember? And Joe and Becca.
Joe? Oh, I forgot Joanna. Joanna, sorry. I was like, there's a man here.
Why is my boyfriend here?
My man. Yeah, Joe's here. Just Joe knows this. Did she help?
No.
Did she help him?
I didn't remember that, but
I don't remember that.
That was intense.
I don't think she did.
Yeah.
I think she was like cowering in the corner or something.
She does not help him in the books.
She kind of does it, right? She's like the one pushing it in.
Him, and she like pushes
really like help encourage him to kill his uncle.
And there are two schools of thought that I think are kind of going through fans' minds when they see that. One is, cool, now they're both complicit in Dougal's death. It's not something that Jamie has to bear on his own, right? Claire had to get him through that. And then there's the other school of thought that's probably like, oh, Jamie's not strong enough in the show to do anything on his own. He needs Claire to always be there behind him to get it done, which is a criticism. So there's those two things. There's the positive aspect of it that they're, you know, she's helping him not have to bear that burden, and then the negative aspect of it is that Jamie's never strong enough to actually make a choice on his own without Claire.
Right. Well, I thought when she was doing it, like, it was just like, oh, is it because you won't be able to help him kill Blackjack? So you're like, oh, let's just go get Dougal. Like, you know, we made a deal.
I mean, obviously.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. Stop.
Yeah.
It is pretty, like, whack-a-mole. But I think that they have to kill him. He's going to kill Jamie. And I liked the scene because I felt like you can see that Jamie is doing his damnedest to, like, keep this from exploding. He doesn't want to kill them at that point, and he wants to ameliorate the situation. He can't, and I felt like that was really showing on Sam's face, and I liked the scene specifically.
It didn't.
Go ahead.
Sorry. It didn't feel like, to me, it had gotten to the point where it required killing him. I've seen a lot of. Oh God, I'm such a nerd. I've seen a lot of TV. Or movies where someone is forced to kill someone because like they're fighting and they're like they have no other choice. And to me, it didn't look like he had no other choice. He could have bent the knife out of his hand or something,
knocked him out,
and had an opportunity to have one more shot to talk him out of it. And instead, they opted to just kill him. And so it felt less like they were defending themselves and more like they're protecting their secret. You know, so like. And so that's how it came off. And if they're trying to portray the fact that like they had no choice, they did it poorly because that's not how it looked.
Yeah, it would have been better if he was like charging after Claire and you know held something to her, and that's when Jamie. I did like though how Sam acted at the end, like when he realized he killed his uncle, like he bowed. That
was.
I thought
believable.
I was like, Sam Hewen, you were on point this episode.
Fire.
And then he did the whole like, Lord, give me a woman, and I think because he looked like he was laughing when he was doing it, like I got a boner, you know, like.
Not. Oh God.
No, I think that Kyle is 100% right. That death was not earned.
No.
Mm-mm. Yeah, I was watching it and I was surprised when they killed him. I was like, what are they doing? Why did they just do that? Like, they were sword fighting. Like, it didn't seem intense enough. He seemed racked with grief and not murderous. It was just, did not.
Yeah, and I knew it was coming, and I was even a little surprised. I was like, this isn't it. This isn't the scene.
Yeah.
And then it happened.
Well, and you think Dougal is gonna earn this like warrior's death on the battlefield, and he gets killed by his own nephew? It was so weird. It just, I don't know. I'm sure it plays out in some long tail form.
Did it feel like he deserved? Like, did it feel like they had no other choice in the books? Like, when you were reading it, did it feel like you were like, I totally understand?
Yes.
Yeah, in the book, Dougal is far more menacing. He's got a lot more going on than just overhearing them wanting. I mean, there's just a lot. I mean, he's much more of he's a more menacing character in the book than he has been in the last half of this season.
Joe, what were you gonna say?
Well, and they're like in an attic when it happens in the book, as my 67-year-old dad reminded me today. And so they were more like, because he read the books with me. And so they were like cornered, whereas like in this big gigantic space, they could have, I don't know, run, I guess, or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they could have knock him out with the head of a dirk or something. Yeah,
exactly.
It was not deserved for sure.
Yeah. And was it Rupert who walked in on them? I don't think so. In the book, it was somebody else. It was some random
I don't
person.
remember.
No,
and that
I thought it was Rupert, and I thought they killed him too.
Yeah.
I thought that they killed Rupert too.
Oh, really?
That made me sad in the show because I loved Rupert, and to have him like look at Jamie and just be like, "You're dead. You're dead." And I was like, "Oh, damn it! The guy lost an eye. Now he lost two friends. Two other friends. Like this guy's losing everything.
Both of his friends.
Both of his friends."
There's good comments about people. Yeah, it doesn't seem like anybody really agrees that the Dougal moment worked. They're agreeing with us that Claire never helped him in the book, and then they didn't love Dougal in this one, thought he was overacting. There's something else that popped up that's no longer in my feed that I can't see. And also I saw a couple comments, people wondering if they could comment on YouTube. I guess it might not be working while we're not live, but you'll be really able to comment and leave all your negative comments after the show is published.
We've been positive at certain points in this.
We have been positive.
Damn it.
But we do get some negative comments on YouTube, but we love them.
Yes, and can I just say that like my particular portion of the show came about in about 4 minutes. So if you have something negative to say, I have 4 minutes.
My internet went out. I'm on my phone.
Oh, hi. Hello.
That was weird.
Oh, that stinks.
Hi, guys.
Well, I think one of the things that I don't know if we have any more to talk about tonight, but we're getting up on time. We do?
Mm-hmm.
What?
We have not discussed the last scene, and it must be discussed.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's
when you guys are referring to the last scene, what are you meaning exactly? Like what happens?
Specifically,
Sunrise.
there's a couple of things because there's a couple of things that I felt were really poorly done. One is when Galus goes through the stones, there's that aspect of it where Bree starts believing her or whatever.
Yeah.
And it seems like she's so blasé. She's like, oh, she went through the stones. She went through. I believe you. It's just blasé. It's just a blasé. The way it's shot, you don't see Claire's face. I don't like the way Galus. It's just not dramatic.
It would have been
enough.
like the entire show never actually shows someone going through stones or disappearing. It's always just shot, and the next shot they're gone.
Yes.
And so like it would have been more believable to have her believe it if we saw it with her. If we saw Galus literally just disappear and like she is in the same shot and she's just gone, then I'd be like, okay, well that makes sense for you to believe her. But from our point of view, she could have just ran away and like you know?
Yeah. And the way that Brianna, you're right, Beth, it was the way she delivered the line. It was like, thank you, Captain Obvious, because she literally looked at her mom, she goes, she went through the stones. Like anybody does it. Right? Like I do it all the time.
It's ridiculous how bad it was.
If you guys remember when
all the time. Wait, hold on.
Jamie
I said that
put
wrong.
her hand against the stone.
Yeah.
When Jamie put her hand against the stone, Claire's hand, her hand was full on against that stone. I thought it was going to disappear. I thought it was going to be like Jamie's hand was going to be right there and like pushing her arm in and everything. But no, it was like flat against the stone. I'm like, did you go to the right one?
They spend a little less money on fabric and a little, like a couple dollars on
a little CGI, right?
Yeah.
Two CGI scenes.
If you put a fake ugly ass beard on Sam Hewen, you could put a hand through a stone.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's not. That seems like it's CGI 101. Like probably some of the easiest stuff they could possibly do.
Yeah, they could have got an intern to do it.
I mean, they could have even done the thing where you do, like, as a kid, you're like, want to see my thumb disappear? You know?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Andy Sings just tweeted and said it should have ended with Roger's line. I don't remember what Roger's line was. What was that?
Let's go or something.
He's alive.
He survived.
He's alive?
No, in the book he says he was supposed to die at Culloden, but he didn't.
And that's how it ends?
He meant
that's
to
what she
die.
meant?
He meant to die. But
he meant to die, but he didn't. And this one, she goes, I have to go back. And I think that it was that scene with the sun going over the stones.
For me, it was the eyes. Just the zooming in on the eyes. Just like, okay.
It felt a little too much like, hey, oh wait, we're at the end of season 1 again. Like, what did you just repeat the exact same thing for?
It was why the necessary Technicolor? Why did we have to go into, why did she have to go to Oz immediately and the sun coming up? It was the cheesiest thing I've ever seen. It was ridiculously cheesy.
The way I watched it, she was hearing the news about Jamie surviving, and I went to go and work for literally 2 seconds, and I looked over and it was bright and sun, and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And it was like
they waited a long time.
Yeah.
I love that when you're like, is my Apple customer care person paying attention to me right now?
No, they're watching Outlander.
It's not true. They're watching Outlander.
And never forget, the eyes moment was always done first.
It was.
That's awesome.
I'm so proud that I made this.
That is amazing. You are very talented. A couple people are actually saying that Roger line, that should have ended there. What actually I had the problem with was that Brianna knew that her father didn't die at Culloden.
Yeah.
And she didn't believe her mother until the stones, but then after the stones, she's like, Roger, tell Mommy what we found. And I just didn't, and then she says, my father, about my father, James Fraser. It was just she was such a bitch. She was a terrible person. I don't like her. My father. Your mother was in love with this man. Your mother is in love with this man. It's the child. It's the your father. And she's like, my father. He's mine.
Yeah, she's and even just holding that information back the amount of time that she did as they're going and running after Galus or whatever. It's just it's the whole conceit is ridiculous. We should not have ended the season with something that bananas.
She's just an ungrateful little bitch.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
She's spoiled brat. Just shut up. You got a hot dad. You have a hot dad. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Get ready when you meet him. You're gonna be like,
if photography was invented by the time your dad was alive, I swear you'd feel differently.
You'd be like, Frank who? Jamie Fraser. That guy's hot.
Everybody really likes my ponies, you guys.
I love your ponies.
Hilarious.
I'm officially getting drunk that I can't stop doing those. Can we talk about how many Jamie Frasers we would give this episode? Do you want to talk about the whole season overall or the episode?
Overall.
Overall. Okay, how many? All right, you don't have time to think about it. How many Jamie Frasers do you give this season overall? Kyle, go.
Out of what?
Out of 5. Out of 5.
Yeah.
Out of 5.
3.5.
All right, 3.5. Nikki.
1.5, and most of it's due to this last episode or 2.
Okay, Jules.
2.
2.
I thought of it. 2.
All right, Joe. 3. Joanna gave 3.
2.5. 3. Yeah.
B.
2.
Okay. I was gonna say 2.5, but now I feel 2.5. Yeah, 2.5. That I don't. Does anybody add those up? Who gave the most? Kyle.
Me. Kyle.
Wow. Wow. He needs to get on our group chat. Like it list.
And the thing is, I've never watched a full season of another show that I would give a 2 to.
No.
Like,
Right.
if I'm watching a full season of a show, I'm giving it at least a 4 out of 5.
Oh, gosh.
So,
I would never watch that much. And also, I didn't watch the last 2 episodes. Like, that is so telling for me.
Yeah, the reason I rated it 3.5, and like I honestly probably would have rated it higher, but I can't remember half of the season because I was so bored.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can. So that's why.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think like we get a lot of criticism about how we are and like how critical we are, but at the end of the day, we spend a lot of time talking about the show, and so I feel like we're allowed to be as critical as we want because we write about this at least once or twice a week during the season, if not more. We're doing this. It takes forever to do all this stuff and to create podcasts, and we like it enough to do that. But yeah, I think because we probably spend so much time on it, it makes me want to give it a 5 and just not able to at all. Like, can you imagine? What is a show that I give a 5 out of? If I spent this much time on that, I would be probably really, I would have like so many more horses. I've officially lost it.
Can we just talk
Officially
about
done.
Anna's tweet says, "Oh, photography just remembered what Claire brings back to the past." Does she bring future technology to the past?
No, not really.
No,
Bring a picture. Is she gonna go get some like antibiotics?
Do you want us to tell you? You want us to tell you what she brings back?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
It's not a big deal. Y'all aren't wrong, actually.
yeah.
Is
Nikki
it a
would.
pic-
You kind of guessed.
Is it a picture of her daughter?
I knew it was antibiotics. The
Yeah.
surgeon.
You got it.
I love they just threw
Oh,
that in.
I think it's just penicillin, right?
Well, she also
yeah.
brings back. She brings back.
Dildos.
No.
She's going to the dildo. She's going to get the dildo.
dildo ever.
Worst dildo.
6 inches, I maybe 7. That's what
Oh my
she's
God,
going
Sam's
to.
gonna.
I should have just held up a picture of my parents. She brings back.
Oh God. I mean,
Don't say dildo in front
Jamie-
of my parents.
Jamie's gonna find it and be like, "What is this?" And she'd be like, "Based on your previous experience, I don't think you'd like this very much." She'll let it away.
Wait.
By the way, Kyle, Jamie is a good almost 7 inches. Just saying.
Almost.
She describes the size.
Is that described in the book?
Yeah.
No, she does. She describes it in the books. I thought that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh my God, guys! She says like every inch of your body is covered in pain or whatever, and he goes, well, except these 6 inches, and she says something like 6 inches, and he goes, well, maybe 7.
Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Suddenly, this beer bottle feels a lot more dirty than it should.
Oh,
That-
Well, maybe it's because you just were
This is
stroking it.
Whatever.
That's it. Well, what? That's more than
tiny
7.
bit taller.
wait,
That's
hold up the
weird.
horses, Becca. And now put them together.
Lord.
There it is. Welcome to Hang Outlander.
I have one last thing because I almost died laughing. So I felt like it was a nod to Diana when Brianna was introducing her mom to Roger, and she's like, "Don't be modest, Mom. You're a surgeon." I was like, "Oh my God, that's totally
Yes.
Diana."
Oh, it is 100%. Claire is Diana.
Diana is Claire.
Don't be modest.
Well, I wanted to say, if I can get the words out, that I wanted to give a real quick shout out to Beth because Beth is our Outlander leader here at That's Normal, and this is a lot of work. And I think, Beth, have you missed one Hang Outlander?
Unfortunately, no. I've been here every week.
She's been here every week, and guys, like, it is a lot. Every Monday, I'm like, oh my God, I got that again. It's a lot. This, and then obviously doing all the recaps and like wrangling our team has been incredible. So, thank you, Beth, for everything.
You win the
And then,
prize
of course,
this week.
You win it. You're going to send you these horses are coming too. And then, of course, we have an incredible team at That's Normal that has covered Outlander for us, and I'm really going to try to say all their names right now. Julie is one of them because I can see her. Amy, Heidi, Katie, Tiff does Snaplander. Am I forgetting anybody? And then Nikki and myself.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, yay, I got everybody. So those, and then
Like
obviously some
half the team.
ancillaries. Half the team, I know. So it's been awesome because we've like gotten really close as like our little core, like talking about Outlander all the time. It's been really fun. And then, of course, all the people who have joined us this season for Hang Outlander, specifically tonight, having Kyle here, and then our special guests like Joanna tonight, and then there's too many to name. I'm not going to remember them. Also, hashtag Rose and these horses, so I'm not even going to attempt. And then Laura, too, from Hyperbole, who couldn't be here tonight. We are just so grateful because it's been so fun to have new blood and new conversations. And if it was just us just talking about how much we hate this show every week, it would be terrible. And we don't hate the show. You know what we're saying. But it's good to have people put things in perspective at the same time. So, yes. And just because Outlander is over, yes, our readers, of course. Like, you guys are incredible. And it's been really fun.
Really great people this season specifically. Like, we met so many great people the first season that everybody was so excited about Outlander. And then this season, we've had even more people like kind of come in and constantly talk to us. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's been awesome. And if you haven't signed up, check out the top 10 that Beth did on Saturday if you haven't read it yet. I think there's links in there for our email list, but we do lots of other things other than Outlander, but you can sign up just to get our Outlander emails. And we did have a bunch of people sign up in the last few days, and when they do, they usually respond because we send a little email saying, tell us how you found out about us, and it's been really fun to read those emails because we have the coolest readers. So we are so grateful for you guys, and please stick around because I don't know, it's going to be at least 3 or 4 years before we have another Outlander season, so we'd love to have you. We write about books, we do other stuff, sometimes like Game of Thrones, I don't know, what else we talk about?
I think what I might do is read the books and then write an article about the comparison.
That would be amazing. I'm back.
Wait, hold on. You cannot read Voyager yet until after the show is over.
Yes, you can.
No.
Kyle cannot read anything until after.
Yeah, Dragonfly and Amber and the other one before that one.
Outlander.
Okay.
And don't fret about us not having Hang Outlander. We will probably be here on a regular basis talking about fandom stuff, news coming out from the show, and we're probably going to do a little bit of some fun stuff with Voyagers that's coming up. So just
Did we announce any of that in your post or no?
I did talk about we're going to have some turtle soup talk, which if you've never read Voyager, you don't know what that is. But we're going to talk a little bit about our favorite scenes from Voyager over this time. While they're filming it, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite stuff from Voyager and see what stuff gets put into the show and what doesn't. So.
And here, just a real quick, listening. Yeah, real quick throwback, because when they were making the 3rd film of Twilight, we just talked about what one scene we wanted very, very much, which is called the leg hitch, and it was in the movie. And I have to say that I think that was because of how our fandom, like our group specifically, but got the whole fandom talking about how much we want that. So if we talk about all these turtle soup things and all these things we want sex-wise from Voyager, maybe they will just listen to us.
Is turtle soup sex related?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So it wasn't crazy. Okay.
No, it wasn't crazy.
It just happens to be the title of a chapter in which a really great sex scene occurs.
Yeah, it's really good.
Let's just say we didn't get, what was the thing from season 1?
Water
weed.
Water weed.
They don't do turtle soup. They don't do turtle soup. I'm going to rage against the machine. It's going to be not pretty.
It's going to rage.
It's going to rage hard, like a 36-year-old woman could.
So she'll be in bed by 9.
So from 9 to 10 every Monday for the next 4 months, we'll just hashtag turtle soup.
Turtle soup.
Get it trending.
Turtle soup.
That is a great idea.
Give us turtle soup.
Yep, turtle soup. That's all we want.
That's normal needs turtle soup. Like UK needs Outlander. That's normal needs turtle soup.
Yes,
exactly.
We do.
Exactly. Exactly.
One last thing. If you're going to be at Comic-Con next week, let us know. We will be there, all of us. I'm not sure about you, Joanna. All of us here on this panel. And we want to see you. That's normal. We'll be having a party, and we will put that information out very, very, very soon.
This week, because it's next week. Yeah. We're just finalizing those details. Yeah, we'll just probably tomorrow we'll probably let you know. But yeah, we're really excited. Follow us online. We use the hashtag TNSDCC when we're there, and we'll be bringing the horses.
Something live there.
Oh yeah, we can't wait. And Kyle's gonna be there. We're gonna do lots of hugging and high fives and stuff.
There's going to be the horses.
Lots of drinking.
Lots of drinking. We're bringing the horses.
I can't wait, you guys. I can't wait. Yay!
Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Joanna.
Yeah, thanks for
We
the
are. Thank you. Goodbye, season 2 of Outlander.
Bye.
Adios.